Okay, so this is a viewer submission that is, you know, when we play different decks on this stream, sometimes we're looking to optimize and play something that's super sweet. Other times we're looking to just try and do the thing. This is definitely one of the latter decks. So we've got Overgrown Snapvines here that says whenever you summon a follower, kill it to summon an Overgrown Snapvines. So basically what this deck is looking to do is it's looking to get one of our 2 copies of Overgrown Snapvines into play here. Snapvines, yep, this thing is real sweet looking. And then once we get the Snapvines into play, we have a bunch of other effects like Crawling Sensation, which makes 2 Spiderlings.
Card 2?
We have things like Hapless Aristocrat, Jury Rig, Elise. We have all of these things that create cheap units, so that way we can make lots of Snapvines. So this is kind of like a token deck of sorts that you are looking to make a bunch of little things and turn them into Snapvines. Professor Von Yip, as being pointed out in chat, is another card that's useful with our payoffs, because a lot of our token things basically are 1-cost things. So Von Yip makes it so that if we don't have Snapvines, he can make the spiders and things that we're summoning a little bit larger. Is it a rule of thumb for me? Do the things next to a max copy of things trying to do the thing. I don't think that's strictly true. Just because, like, while we are calling this deck Snapvines, like, this does cost 7, and Von Yip has a similar effect. So, like, we kind of have 5 things that do the thing in this deck. It's just only 2 of them are named Snapvines, if that makes sense. So, let's go ahead and pop it into some matches on the ladder with this one and see how it goes. How playable is Dinger? Heimendinger is very good. If you look on the meta list page, there's a tier / S tier depending on who you ask Heimendinger deck. Finally, the Divine Visitation deck Chad has always wanted, right? I don't think I want Cask off the bat. Crawling Sensation, along with Elise here, is actually really good. Opponent is playing Zed, which is elusives. So I think I'm going to mulligan these and just keep these to start. So we'll get to lead on Crawling. Wait, what just happened? Oh, an ally has to die for Crawling Sensation to work, right? I knew that. I definitely knew that.
Bite.
We definitely knew that, right, Jake? Definitely knew that. Jake's got my back, chat.
Everything's better with company.
High five. Yeah. I love you, kid. You're great. Oh. Our opponent's start is very good here. We're gonna hit for 9 unblockable here. Good chance we just get run over here.
Perhaps we should pause for thought.
Silent as death. We could use a bite.
So this comes into play, and then Von Tripp pumps it up. Super unfortunate.
You pop 3 fire cards. What? He put on. How possible?
It's impossible.
Yeah, he took it.
So let's play the Fearsome Skitter here, which shrinks all their stuff a little bit for the turn at least.
Sure, Patty.
Shrinking their stuff's a great idea. I agree. So I can put this here, which will let these trade. And then I can Black Spear to kill one of their elusives, but we're still a little bit behind here. Yep. Yeah, the elusive deck is very comparable to Mono Blue. I think that is a very apt comparison. That is a fantastic draw. Let's see if they've already played 2 bursts of iron, so hopefully this just works. They could have a deny here. Ionia plays deny. Yep. So I think I jury rig here. And I go ahead and attack with all of these. I guess I can attack with this too. I'm out of one cost things at this point. Let's just stack with everything. Okay, and then we get to Black Spear. Pretty sure we Black Spear the 1 toughness thing. This is a little bit worse if we draw exactly Vile Feast next turn, but this is better in the event that they have things to play out. We don't draw that, so.
Natural. I got you.
Yep. So we get to kill that, and then we take 8 unblockable here. This game actually ended up being a lot closer than I was expecting it to be. Like after the fact that we like took 9 on turn 3 or whatever that was, like the fact that we were 1 turn off of lethal there was really close. Hey Matt, thanks for the 17 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Professor Von Tripp there, looking really impressive. Misfortune and Sajani, probably something aggressive. Caretaker plus Hapless Aristocrat, good for helping us control the board early. I'm gonna mulligan these more expensive cards, looking for some cheaper plays. Got the Snapvines. Heal Arena. Our guy dies, he makes a spider, so we'd be very okay with that trade. Elise is an excellent draw here, just get a really solid curve at this point.
I'd follow you anywhere.
Of course you would.
Wow, just straight up no attacks there, huh? These are 1/1s too? Gosh, Professor is good.
Yeah.
So do I... Gosh, with this draw, do I play this right away or do I wait? Sorry, these are 1 cost. I said 1/1s, these are 1 cost. So these get pumped by Professor. I think I still just do this to fill my curve.
We've made the most of you.
We'll get to play the Skitter out here next turn. If they can't interact with any of my spiders, we'll get to flip Elise next turn.
Secrets.
So if I start the turn with 3 other spiders, she's gonna, yep, okay, level up.
My true beauty is beneath the skin.
Huh?
We got a lot of idle costs.
We do have a lot of spiders, Jake, you're right.
Big one.
We could open on attacks. Oh, you want to put the professor into play?
Yeah. I'll play now.
Professor's not very good. I could open on attacks and like challenge some of their stuff and get some hits in. I can also play Neverglade Collector. I think that's what I want to do. Because getting this down so they take damage when our spiders die seems really good for us. Alright. Like about a wash, huh? Do this. These are fearsome, so these things can't block them. So we like trade here. They eat this, but then they take 7. And again, the eye reveals all. So they're done to eat. Hey, that's not bad. We'll get to play Professor here.
From the savage cold.
Oh,
So Johnny frosted our Elise, Jake.
oh,
That was the card we were playing. You're right.
how? Hey, God. How?
Well, everybody can play with the cards, Jake. It's just like real life. You gotta take turns and everybody gets to play.
I am a trade cards. I'm a trade cards.
Don't stand in my way.
Okay, so... If I jury rig here, I could do this, and then next turn I can grasp the Undying to kill Sajani.
I want you to shut Jerry. Don't play that card yesterday. You want another one? Another Jerry?
In general, for I see the conversation guy had someone getting timed out for offering their suggestion. They said they're gonna offer more feedback. Just take the time to like type out a complete message from the start. Don't just like send your message in 3 different sentences across a bunch of different messages.
Good.
Huh? Alright, so this plus this is pretty good. Do I want to try and grasp the Undying this?
Just die, shut Jerry.
You think I grasp it? I mean, if they have the 4/4 buff, the 4/4 buff happening here while they're blocking as opposed to when they're attacking is ideal for us, right? And hey, that just worked. So, you know, we'll take that.
I'm not greedy.
Stealing my water. And then I think with all these 2-mana spells in my hand, I just go ahead and pass here and just bank this into spell mana. And next turn we're going to have 8 mana total, so I'll get to Overgrown Snapvine into Hapless Aristocrat, which is great. And I'm still at 16. They have kind of okay open attacks here. Oh, please don't shark me. Please don't shark me. Oh, no. We're getting sharked, Jacob.
Please don't shark me. Oh, God.
Oh, no. Look at the shark's got big cannons, Jacob. He's gonna blow up our board. Here come the cannonballs. Oh, no. We're not dead, right?
Don't you net buys? Get home and net buys.
I think we're okay here because I have Vile Feast to gain a life. So if they attack with just one of these here, I can block here, and then Vile Feast this. I don't think it really matters. And then this is gonna make another Snapvine. And then I get priority here after this attack, so I get to play this, which makes 2 more Snapvines. Look at all of our Snapvines, Jake. Look at that.
I for you 195 and make a movie one.
Chat thought we were dead, Jake. They didn't know.
One now one card over there of one card back and 2 cards.
Pick it up with my friends.
Attack! Bio.
Mao doesn't become a Snapvine. Oh, when you summon a follower. Oh, that's super good to know. That's super good to know. I don't know why I just assumed it was anything, but yeah, you're right. Thank you for pointing that out. And then Mao makes saplings which turn into Snapvines. Yeah, they're yeah, that's really good. That's sick. This deck's sweet.
What you take.
You accepted what became of us. What was it supposed to do?
So close.
Okay, yeah, this is Johnny. So, this is gonna be a tough nut to crack here. Whenever our Nexus takes damage for the first time, they get to frostbite our entire board.
Looking for trouble? It found you.
That is super unfortunate. It is a combo. Is Mao close? 21. Are you kidding me? Holy crap. Are we dead? That's probably lethal, right? the old Trips misfortune.
I use Snapvines.
That's really hot. Really close game here.
How many? 5.
Well, this isn't a Snapvine, but trick. Oh, this is a Snapvine. You're right. Yeah, we can technically still chump our way out, huh? Oh, yeah, because this is... These are going to deal 3 to us, too, because this has Overwhelm.
Yeah, you back by one more.
Cannot be broken.
deck did the thing. Unfortunately, their deck also did the thing. So, we lose. That's okay. Can't win all the time. Yeah, Sap Magic does not heal the Nexus.
Vines. How to get open that vine with you?
We need more Snapvines. Yeah.
Why did you open all the...
For those not familiar, Teemo deck here likely means that our opponent's playing the burn deck.
Why did you open that vines? How to get over them? Not you. Not you.
Mulligan these two. Maokai actually seems pretty good here. These are great pickups against the burn deck. Vilepy's definitely one of the better cards in this matchup.
The egg.
When
Did
that
you move?
I told
We need more Snapvines? I agree. Our deck's all about the Snapvines. Gotta go.
Another day in the field.
How is Frostbite mid-range? It's okay. Let's feast upon the Teemo here. Opponent debating if they want to play out another unit pre-combat.
No one's the wiser.
I'd like to kill your Teemo.
Push on without me. Hey, get away from that by comes.
Yeah, they better be afraid. When we get our Snapvines, we're coming.
You got even that by hun. Get that by back.
What is the poison puff cap mechanic? The puff caps that Teemo references, they are a mechanic where they attach puff caps to cards in your deck, and then when you draw a card with puff caps on it, you take damage. Are we playing Professor or are we playing Maokai? You wanna play Maokai? He is a 1/4.
They made him a
The
drago.
blessed Isles live through me.
Forget Isle.
I have my orders. Everything's in place.
Please, I have connections.
I cannot be broken.
So we're taking 5 total here down to 13. Sorry, 7, because this is dying. We're gonna have a Spider and Maokai. They're only gonna have this.
Nice guy. Okay.
Oh, I should have played this. Oh, no, wait. I guess I kind of want to wait for this until after Professor Vanya.
What? Wait. Back to you, net vibes.
Hey, back up, Maokai.
Be cut away.
How he back?
Guess who's back? Back again. Maokai's back. Tell a friend.
For the Empire.
Oh, down to 7. Hook it up. I think we're waiting on these for now.
Strike at their foundations.
What do you think about Sejani Swain? We played a little bit of that deck on stream. I'd encourage you to go back. So one of the things I always do at the end of my videos is I give a wrap-up of the deck of what I thought of it. And present Jeff has played a lot of decks in between when past Jeff played whatever deck you're asking me about. So in general, I'd recommend going back and looking at what past Jeff had to say. Well, there's the first decimate. Great. Am I dead yet?
First big mission.
Don't touch that.
Fire up.
Oh, heck. We lose.
Not again.
Hey, we got a prize. Should we open our prize?
Beacons.
That's any card we want. It's a mystery card.
Don't tip and mystery.
Oh, working up towards our chest.
What? What color we?
Oh, the submit deck command is actually not accurate. I'm taking a Runeterra decks. If you want to submit a Runeterra deck, you can use the form on my website. A lot of the decks we've been playing are viewer submissions. Some of them are ones I put in, but a number of them are viewer submissions. I'm gonna be doing Runeterra tomorrow and Sunday as well before I go on break, so. Mogwai Snapvine list. It is a Snapvine list that was sent to me by a viewer. Not sure offhand on the origination of it. Zed, Hekram. So this is ephemeral based. Could just be these two playing together. Could be other ephemeral things as well. I'm gonna keep Glimpse. So we have a lot of things I don't mind sacrificing. I'm gonna keep Vile Feast just in case there's something aggressive.
We got more. We got.
Not a bad pickup with the Glimpse here that we kept.
Follow me. Or
Take
peace.
2/3 when you summon me. When you summon an ephemeral ally, grant it 1/1. Okay.
That egg. Did it move?
Hard deck to pilot. One of those things that transcends card games is that it never fails that like this deck is hard to pilot is secretly code for this deck is bad, but I if you play well you can win with it.
Accept your fate.
One of those secret card game code word things. Hard. My deck's not bad, it's hard to play. They could kill my thing in response here, but I think that's fine. Decided to try and get the attack in here because I wanted to kill my thing not only to draw cards, but this lets me Black Spear their Soul Shepherd here before they start deploying ephemeral things. The Soul Shepherd along with their champions here seems to imply that they're an ephemeral themed deck. That's not really fair to things like Mono Blue Tempo. Mono Blue Tempo is an incredibly easy deck to play. In fact, most Magic decks are incredibly easy to play. They're fairly linear. Let's get linear. I want to get linear. Let's get into linear. Most and honestly, that's like more of a problem with modern Magic design than anything. Most of modern Magic design is playing things on curve as optimal. Is what it comes down to. Okay, so here's the thought. Do I get Professor Von Yip down here?
Bye now.
Or do I Spiderling and then plan to Black Spear? I think I Maokai. Maybe I just Maokai, actually. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Maokai and then we'll Von Yip and then we can hook this with the Von Yip. with the Maokai token. Yeah. We do have a Snapvine for later. You're not wrong. I gotta get all the way up to 7 though for that one.
Corruption everywhere.
We do always need more Snapvines. You're not wrong. You know what's up? Yeah, I agree with that, Dr. Mr. Putty.
Quite right, quite right.
So unfortunately, do not have 2 mana up for any of these cards. But from here on out, we should have plenty up. So we'll see if they have a removal spell for either of these this turn. If they don't kill either of these, we should be in a pretty good spot, because these Vile Feasts will make 3/3s with Von Yip out. Chat wants to know how you're doing, Jake. Are you having a good day?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think so? Did someone actually bring up Storm when I said Modern Magic Design? Get out of here. Don't you actually be with something that stupid?
Over here.
Okay, so this is gonna make 2 2/2s that are then pumped to 3/3s by this, and I have to decide what I want to do for the turn. I think it's just Neverglade Collector here, because this will make me a 4/3 that I can block with on defense. In general, I would like to remind folks that if you want to be critical of my opponent's gameplay, I would like to hold you to the same standard with that I hold you to when you're critical of my personal gameplay, which is that if your feedback on why my opponent made a mistake isn't constructive and specific, you're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll take 8 here, but we're gonna gain 1 back, so we'll take a total of 7. You'd block with Mao too, because Mao's champion spell heals both. Oh, that's a good observation. Are you Jacob? Chat wants to know. Yeah, you're Jacob. Good spot, half quarter. Hey, Morikawa, takes us 3/4 over here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and Vile Feast this one, because if I Vile Feast it again, Black Spear is gonna get to kill it. That is a spicy draw. You're not wrong. Yeah, if I do it on my turn, my opponent gets an extra priority pass, Jeff Freeze.
I've learned patience.
Can you explain why that's highly likely, Kingslayer? What about their setup makes the line you're suggesting highly likely?
All that matters now is the little one.
Unfortunately, spewing a sapling here, but I think I need to kill the Hecarim. So you're just assuming that they've played. You're just assuming that they have their 3 of in the small number of cards that they've seen. Is basically what you're telling me. Definitely should have blocked with Maokai last turn. It should be +3 life. Appreciate the person that pointed that out. It's usually a 1 of. Okay, so if it's a 1 of, then they're not likely to have it. All right. Feel like we're in an okay spot. I guess they could have another Hecarim here because they are on 6. Professor Vanyev's actually just been very good here. How close is Maokai to leveling up? Not very. Our deck doesn't toss things super aggressively. There isn't a discard pile that you can look through, but cards do not go back into the deck. No, they just disappear.
We each died, then found home.
When I'm summoned, revive the strongest dead allied champion. Old.
The forest's vengeance!
Two Nepi. We have Benko.
Yes, you lose into Runeterra if your deck gets 0 cards. That is correct.
We got more Nepi. That means we got Benko.
We do have Snapvines. You're not. These are about to level up. So these things are all going to be +6 attack.
What? Got all the same cards just by you. I wait open Nepi.
They do have a lot of all the same cards. You're not wrong. Ugh. So...
You're interrupting.
And I can remember
I suppose we're just doing this.
why.
I suppose I could even keep my Snapvines back here.
Good. That'd be great. That'd be a great idea.
I love you, Jacob, but really needed the glimpse to be on there. Yeah, I think I should have kept the Neverglade Collector. I agree. I ran out of timer there.
We got two Nepi.
I was thinking and talking through, and I didn't realize my timer was going down because my headphones aren't on.
Not fun. Five.
Let's make it easy. No refunds.
Yeah, I actually would have likely, I would have likely killed them here, right? If I kept the Neverglade Collector.
You got the
If I kept the Neverglade Collector, they would have taken 3 extra damage there, and they'd be at 1. And then there's a pretty good chance that they would have died. It's been a good game. This deck's kind of sweet. We haven't won a ton of games with it, but there's been had a lot of interesting lines in it. There's also been some mistakes and like things like that where I let the timer run down and made a bad play because the timer was running down. Yeah, actually, they would have been just dead, right? Because if I would have kept the thing, I could have glimpsed and killed them. So if I would have kept the 2/4, they'd be at 1 from draining 3. And then glimpse would have killed another thing and killed them. It's just a mix of, like, new decks, and Jake's here, and I'm reading chat. It's like, and like, again, this is why, like, when you're playing decks, like, people have to come in and, like, ask what the record with the deck we're playing is, and, like, just asking the record doesn't really tell the whole story. They have a lifelinker. Thanks. I appreciate the commentary. Definitely didn't notice that. Come on, Twitch chat.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that cause I mean, he was your bottom card. He would be really
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Perhaps they would have still been okay because they had the will, but I definitely should have kept the aristocrat.
Okay.
We'll get him next time, right?
Oh. So.
This random progress day in here seems real bad. I kinda want another Maokai. Jacob, Daddy needs to click. I kinda don't understand why. Like, I keep looking at random net decks, and like people did this with the deep too. I don't know why people don't play 3 copies of this card. I don't get it. Like, it's basically always good every time you have it. Like, if Maokai stays in play, your opponent loses, so like it's okay to have a backup one that has a medium spell. Hard to pilot decks. Alright, I'm gonna give you a timeout for implying that Storm's hard to pilot, because it's not. Storm's also a good example of a deck where people who think it's hard to pilot because Storm's also not very good. Like, if you look at, like, okay, and just like Storm, like, look at what Caleb Shear's record is with that deck at Magic tournaments throughout his history. Like, it's really not good. What does no champion mean? It means burn. It means, hey, Jacob, you gotta let Daddy talk. Normally, if they're playing Noxious, no champion means burn. I think this means elusives. That's usually what it means. It's not even about counting to 10 or 20. It's just that modern Storm especially is like super deterministic super quickly. Like to the point of being trivial. Like you literally just cast Gifts Ungiven with a dork out and kill them every time. Lukewarm take. Most people think their deck that they play is hard to pilot because if their deck is hard to pilot, it makes them a better player. A lot of X deck is easy or hard are very self-flating attitudes. They're comments that people make to build themselves up about the deck that they play and put others down about their deck of choice.
You dare! Silent as death.
Great, confirmed. Elusives deck.
Achilles? Where are you?
A pretty present you'll make.
They forgot to attack with their elusive.
for you.
They're different decks, Brian. I don't think they're really super comparable. Someone explain to you what Storm is. It's a mechanic in Magic in Magic the Gathering. That's kind of tedious and obnoxious. I guess I'm only giving up 1 extra mana. I guess I could play out some spiders here. I think I want to save this for post Snapvine though.
You want.
You want to save it for after the Snapvines? Having a couple of jury rigs post Snapvine here is real good.
Lovely day for a battle.
You have to get me out of here.
Okay, and then this is actually excellent. So because they did that and made me a spider, I get to do this as a slow spell, and now we'll get to flip Elise next turn.
Nest.
And we'll get to start cooking their stuff with our spooters.
Feed. Smooth as silk.
So, Elise is level up for him, gives your other spiders fearsome. Sure, you can bounce my thing. Deal. A couple less points in here, but it's not really a big deal. After playing this deck out, I definitely understand why. There's only 2 Snapvines. Snapvine's super expensive. This is definitely more of a Professor Von Trapp deck than a dedicated Snapvine deck. The ultimate Snapvine. We die? Not quite yet, but getting close.
The advantage is mine.
Taking 12 here. They're gaining 7. Okay, that's not bad. So I can hook this, and then Vile Feast kills this, Black Spear kills this. I don't know that I want this to go away. Like, am I okay with this dying? I don't think so. Also want to hook this last, so they lifelink after all other damage happens. Combat resolves left to right. Oh, that's so good. It's just so impossible to raise.
see.
So, gotta kill that one.
The Isles will bloom again.
So he's gonna go back to being a 5/5 here. We're at 14. not quite lethal. It's 11.
Strike for the balance.
It's actually interesting that, like, having Snapvine out when we're trying to make saplings is actually a downside. This lethal. Exactly 14. Cool.
Not again.
Yep. I don't know. I feel like we need more removal in this deck. I mean, there's only 3 Blighted Caretakers in this deck. That's probably wrong. That's one of the best removal spells we have access to. Grasp of the Unyielding's also not terrible. I want to get another Caretaker in here. I think an extra Grasp could be good too. Maybe trim these cask salesmen. This gives us 22 units and 18 spells. Probably fine. They are playing a control deck here, it looks like. I'm mulligan these, looking for some other aggressive plays. Not particularly stellar here. I guess I'm just doing this and attacking for 1. It's not really why we're playing this, though.
You got big
Or even Withering Wail. There's 3 Withering Wails in my deck, right? What's Vile Feast? What is Withering Wail? Oh, Withering Wail is to deal 1 to everything, right? I don't think that's good enough. Like, if you look at, like, the things that are actually killing us, I need things that do more than 1 damage. I don't think Withering Wail does near enough.
Summon your own speed.
I think things like Grasp of the Undying are more useful. Especially against the Elusive deck in general. This is a 3-1, and again, just like, I'm having a hard time filling out the bottom parts of my curve, and in large part, that's because, like, I only have, Elise as a 2, right? Is Thermogenic Beam in our colors? Beam is Piltover? Beam could be good.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, just like, passing, giving up mana here. We just, like, don't have enough good things to fill out the early slots in our curve, it feels like.
Try to keep up. Perhaps we should pause for thought.
So we can play Professor here. They have the Yasuo, sure. We'll get to play Caretaker here and make some friends.
Everyone's a garden.
Our 4/3s. Your breath.
What do we do that?
For the rest of it, I dare you.
This is just like, again, another example of like, our deck isn't particularly aggressive, so like, we can't get under what the opponent's doing, and we also can't interact with like their keycard Yasuo here. I guess this is kind of interaction, just doesn't line up well here. They do have a lot of good cards, you're not wrong. This is gonna turn into a 5-5 here in a second. Or just super dead. I think I'm gonna be done with this one. Kinda had some. Why did we do bad? That's the question we're gonna answer here in the wrap up. And again, I feel like, and this is just like good, just like generic deck building advice that transcends games. One of the things you really need to consider when looking at and building decks is like, what does your curve look like? And I think this deck's actually a good example of curve assessment because, for example, when you look at this, the curve in this deck actually looks really appealing, right? Like I look at how many 1s, 2s, 3s, and so on I have, but this is where context is key. So like if you look at the cards I'm actually playing, this isn't a 1-drop, right? I can literally never play this card in the first turn of the game. This could technically be a 1-drop, but you really don't want it to be. Glimpse from Beyond, not really a 2-drop. Vile Feast, unless you're playing against Burn, often not a 2-drop. Black Spear, not really a 3-drop, etc. So like you could see where even though my curve from a visual standpoint looks appealing, when you think about how these cards on my curve are actually playing out game to game, you'll see that I often don't have things to do early on. And it really I love you, buddy. And this, like we mentioned when we started, this was certainly a do the thing deck. And part of the problem was like the game against the Ephemerals deck really jumps out. We did our thing and they did their thing, and our thing just wasn't good enough, right? So like generally speaking, if you're gonna be a do the thing deck, you need the thing that you're trying to accomplish to be powerful to the point of when you do it, you win, and when you don't, you lose. So like when you're like all in on this one specific plan and
hard, I to play it never again.
The game's hard, we can never play it again.
Well.
The game visuals are child approved, right? I need this deck list just to have a test case for that exact explanation. Yeah, and I think that's a good one, right? Like, it's very easy to, like, well, you tell people, okay, your curve matters, you need to think about your curve. But then the context of, like, what your cards on your curve are doing and, like, when you're playing them out are also super, super important. You can't just, like, look at their costs and say, okay, I have a curve because I have, 9 1s and 9 2s and then some 3 and 9 3s.
To play pretend.
All right, we are going to play one more deck here today, and this last one is actually one that I've been working on a little bit off stream as well. So we played a Twisted Fate plus Swain deck the other day on stream that felt kind of reasonable, except Swain was lacking. So I've changed a couple of things around, and we're going to try some Katrinas and a Darius as a split with other champions. Hey, I love you, buddy. You need to not talk over Dandy, though. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick ad roll while I get this exported and tweeted, and we'll be back in just a minute. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.